Am I the asshole for repairing my yard after my mill destroyed it? So, for background, my mill lives in my basement suite. Not the issue. A lot may think it is due to not being able to speak the same language, and she babysits my 4 and 2-year-olds when my wife and I work. One day, after noticing that my son, 4-yo, wasn't able to drive his ride-on car onto the patio cause it was 2 inches above the yard, she opted to pile up soil and gravel on the grass to create a ramp he can go up onto the patio space with rather than just have him drive the car on the yard clockwise where he could already drive up onto the patio space. The logic behind that still escapes me. I take pride in my yards. I like having nice, soft and even grass for the kids to play on rather than a dry, patchy, half-barren stretch of dust. She knows that. She knows the work I put into it. She even made sure I knew it was my wife that burned a patch in my grass last year trying to deal with ants by pouring boiled water on it cause she didn't want me thinking it was her, but she still piled soil and gravel on a section of the backyard in the early spring and I hadn't noticed till it was time to begin my annual yard work preparing for the season. Trimming hedges, killing weeds, first mow, reseeding, fertilizing, etc. By then the damage was done. Grass was gone. Soil packed tight like concrete. Loose gravel spread all over the yard like landmines for my mower. Blade is chewed up now. It took me the afternoon to dig out, loosen and level the soil again, to pick up all the gravel and an entire 5 kilograms, 11 pounds, bag of lawn patch and repair, mulch, seed, fertilizer, to fix it. It will be late into the summer before it begins to look like it's filling out again. Today, after a light rainfall overnight, I was checking to see if it needed more watering when my mill stormed out trying to telling me that pile of soil and gravel has to be there for my son. I lost my cool in return and angrily signaled to her that he still can drive the car, while doing things she just clockwise around the yard and through the patio. She stormed back into the suite and later told my wife that if I didn't like how she was babysitting the kids, I can take care of them myself. I do. She just does it when I'm actually working. Again, I struggle with the logic there as the issue was that my yard was destroyed in an attempt to not get my son to change direction when he drives his little car and not that she isn't watching them. My wife has taken her side, arguing she has the right to do whatever she wants to our property. Am I the asshole for repairing my yard after my mill destroyed it? Update. The 3,000 character limit prevented me from explaining that this was not a one-off incident. My mill has done permanent damage to the yard on numerous occasions doing things without so much as mentioning it, including the cedars that line the perimeter of the yard for privacy now has a hole in it cause she decided they were supposed to look like the neighbor's pine tree, not cedars. I caught her after doing just the one pruned a huge spherical hedge into a mushroom so she wouldn't have to duck under branches or walk around it, tore out decorative ivy in a large flower garden in the front yard to make it a vegetable garden cause the 7 feet x 20 vegetable garden in the backyard was apparently not enough. She repeatedly shows she doesn't care what we are doing with our yard. Additionally, I'm not mad about the extra work. I'm mad that she felt she was in a position to chew me out for undoing the work. She did undoing the work I did. Not the asshole. My wife has taken her side, arguing she has the right to do whatever she wants to our property. No. Another perspective: you are all literally fighting over a pile of dirt. Is it really worth all the drama? Not the asshole. If that's true, then you can go and rearrange her closets or kitchen or whatever spave she considers hers. The yard is your project. Does your wife want to be responsible for landscaping? Buy a ramp, my dude. Spend $30 on Amazon and present it to her and fix all of this. You sound insufferable. Would I be the asshole for continuing to set off my car horn every time I see my neighbor take a picture of my car? This whole thing is so dumb, but I'm thinking that maybe I'm being too petty or something and I wanted to get other people's perspective on it. I, 22 female, have a cute little VW that my grandfather gave me when I got my license at 20. I know that's a little late, but I had a fear of driving and just kept putting it off until I had no choice but to learn lol. To celebrate, Granddad bought an '02 Beetle from one of his friends and fixed it up for me. He runs an auto shop, so we were able to get it painted my favorite color too, which I'm really happy about. It's adorable and pink and I love it so much I'll probably never sell it even when it doesn't run anymore. No one has ever really had an issue with my car. The most I get is people telling me it's cute. However, my neighbor totally hates it. She came over about a week after I moved in with my roommates and told me that my car was an eyesore and messed with the curb appeal of the neighborhood. I said I was sorry she felt that way, but I didn't know what exactly she expected me to do about it. She asked that I park it in the garage, but I can't do that because it's a one-car garage and between the 3 people that live in this house, 2 of us drive. The one that parks in the garage works from home, so it wouldn't make sense for me to take that spot since they'd have to move their car out of the driveway every morning so I could go to work. I thought that was the end of it, but then she sent a complaint to the WA, and when that didn't work she started posting on the neighborhood app making up reasons to get upset with the loud college kids across the way. And lately it's just been her coming outside to take pictures of my car after I park it in the driveway. Now when I catch her doing it, I press the key fob so the horn honks. The first few times it scared her, but now it just pisses her off enough to make her storm back in her house. I did it again today when I got home from work and saw her, and she ended up leaving a note in our mailbox saying that I was being childish and disruptive and she was going to report me for targeted harassment. I'm not too worried about that last part lol, but my roommates think that I have made it worse by honking the horn and that since she's not really bothering me by taking pictures, I am being a little childish in my response. Edit. So I fell asleep almost immediately after I posted and I definitely didn't expect to wake up to this many people giving their input on my neighborhood car drama lol, but I did just want to clear up a few things. I'm not setting off the alarm, it's that little beep noise that cars make when you lock them. I've got no clue where she's posting the pictures she's taking or what she's doing with them, to be honest. The car, her name is Ophelia, isn't an obnoxiously bright pink or anything, it's a pastel pink. Think cotton candy but a little lighter than that. Also I'm gonna stop by the local police station on my way home from work and ask them if there's anything they can do to get her to just stop and mind her business lol. Usually even when you call the non-emergency line here they just send the cops anyway, so I feel like going and explaining the situation to them in person will probably be easier and also waste less people's time. Have you considered reporting her for harassment? She has made posts about you, she has approached you over total nonsense, she's even tried taking it to the WA. If anyone is a victim here it's you. Not the asshole. ETA. It probably is super annoying for the other neighbors though. I'd stop setting off the alarm but start documenting it, taking pics of her when she is doing it so you have a record of her behavior. She sounds unhinged and who knows who she sends those pics to. Not the asshole, but stop doing it, it has lost effectiveness and probably bugs the other neighbors. Also, she's the one committing targeted harassment. Not the asshole, make a police report for her stalking behavior. I did it again today when I got home from work and saw her, and she ended up leaving a note in our mailbox saying that I was being childish and disruptive and she was going to report me for targeted harassment. She's the one who should be reported for harassment. Why on earth is she taking so many pictures of your car? She's just being a stalker at this point. Interesting that she knows what targeted harassment is, just not when she's the one doing it. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for ditching my friends while they clean an Airbnb and then returning when they're done? Hi y'all. I, F23, recently went on a vacation with 5 of my friends, F23, 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 M48, F23, to Boston. We're all American history buffs from Cali and wanted to see one of the most important cities in the US up close. The trouble started when we got there. The Airbnb that we had booked was filthy. Like really bad. We contacted the host and they did apologize and offered to give us a portion of the payback. I felt sick being there and thought that we should just leave and go to a hotel. M48 wanted to stay and after some discussion everyone agreed on the condition that we give the place a clean first. I really didn't want to take part in the clean and felt that my voice wasn't be heard in the argument, so I quietly split from the group saying I needed to run a few errands when we went out to buy cleaning supplies. After a few hours of being gone, and seeing some text messages asking where I was, I returned to the Airbnb, now nearly clean. M48 thought that I should clean what's left, as I basically ditched the group earlier and left everyone else to clean. I refused, stating that had we done what I said earlier we wouldn't have to clean in the first place. He got upset and said that he needed some fresh air from all the cleaning. I'm now sitting quietly in a room feeling too awkward to leave. Am I the asshole? Update: taking into account the incoming comments, I have apologized to the group, except M48 who's still on his walk. I have offered to clean what's left and have been pointed towards the bathroom smiling face with tear. Second update: I'm pretty sure that bathroom is now cleaner than it's ever been. Also I think it's taken 10 years off my lifespan. New issue though, M48 has returned and has accepted my apology but doesn't think I should get a share of the refund as I still ended up doing less than everyone else. It's true that I cleaned the least but we all agreed that the bathroom was the worst affected area. I feel too drained to argue now, but may after a nap. Third update, I was woken up by F23 telling me that they discovered a pretty substantial leak in the basement that may have been linked to the water heater malfunctioning. Another F23 has contacted the owner, and we'll be getting a full refund as we'll now be staying at a hotel. We are currently gathering our stuff and waiting for our Uber. M48 thinks the water leak may have started as I used too much hot water when cleaning the bathroom. Fourth update, the Airbnb host has agreed to give us our money back, but has refused to pay us any compensation for cleaning the place. He said that we should have contacted him immediately before making a decision and that now his hands are tied. Also, most hotels in the area are fully booked. Here's hoping we find one soon. Folded hands. Fifth update, after a long search we finally found a hotel and were able to book 2 rooms, one slightly larger than the other. Me and the other F23s opted for the slightly larger room and decided that M48 would get the smaller room. M48 thought that instead we should divide 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. Nobody else felt comfortable with this arrangement and M48 got angry. He said this entire trip has been a waste of time and he'll be headed back home. TMR. This morning he hasn't responded to any of our texts so far. Grimace. How the hell does the 48-year-old man fit in this group? It's kind of interesting seeing a 48-year-old man hanging with a bunch of 23-year-olds. I'm not judging, I don't know the context, I'm just curious how he fits in. Owner should have sent a cleaning team and given you a discount for finding the place in such a mess. Not the asshole, I wouldn't clean it either, I would have gotten my own hotel room because that's so gross. Also, if you don't mind me asking, is M48 someone's dad? 'Cause it's weird he's hanging out with a bunch of girls less than half his age. Why is a 48M traveling with 23-year-old females? Would I be the asshole for being angry how an autistic guy is acting towards me? I, 30F, am attending a summer class for acting for the 5th time now. 3 years ago, 2020, I kinda bonded with Fred, 28M, and we're flirting. In this year there was also a new guy, Chad, 30M, who is probably on the spectrum. He is a sweet guy in general but has problems managing his emotions, has problems with accepting boundaries and interactions. He kind of liked Fred and me and so we were hanging out together. After the class Chad kept contact with me. He was engaged at this time and had problems with his fiancée. I tried my best to be there though I felt like I wasn't important in this friendship cause we constantly talked about his problems and I had no room. He finally broke up with her and my gut feeling told me I was next. As I learned later, he even asked Fred if it was okay to pursue me. When COVID hit in 2021 he came for one day to my city and asked me whether we could take a walk and then it became very clear to me that he was interested, so I got scared and reduced the contact immediately. Shortly after this I met my now boyfriend and am since then in a happy relationship. In summer 2021 in the next summer class and Chad was very disappointed that I had a BF and cried several times about it when I wasn't there, the others told me. At the end of the class one had to talk to him because I felt very uncomfortable because he constantly tried to be around me and he still hoped that I would leave my boyfriend for him. I told him that this wouldn't happen and that I don't think it is a good idea to continue a friendship. He cried for hours on this day. 2022 my boyfriend participated for a day, too, and Chad got very aggressive and was pouting the whole day. Later in the class he was telling other participants I was mean. Several participants were defending me, and I talked again with him again and he cried again all day. I feel like I'm a burden because he is taking so much energy from everyone, teachers and students, because he thinks he is in love with me. I try to be smaller because he says there is his safe place but it was initially mine. This class helped me through a difficult time and I was first. And I'm sometimes feeling like I'm taking too much space just by being happy because then he'll get his hopes up again. This year's class is coming up soon and I'm sick of holding myself back and not really enjoying the time I'm spending there. I met Chad a few weeks ago, he still knows that I have a boyfriend and he seems to still have feelings for me. So I decided to tell him that I don't feel comfortable, that he is acting creepy. That even if I were single he wouldn't be a fit for me and that I don't want to be friends with him because he showed me he can't respect my boundaries. I am angry and anxious at the same time so I don't know whether I'll shout or cry telling him that, but I can't do this anymore. Still I'm feeling guilty because he definitely has a developmental issue and I should be the bigger person? So would I be the asshole if I react angry? Not the asshole. He's 30, he's an adult. He shouldn't be making you feel uncomfortable, and this has gone on for years. Not the asshole. Presumably there is a policy that attendees may not sexually harass each other, so it is long past time to report Chad's behavior upward and ask for whoever offers the course to ensure an appropriate work environment. Not the asshole at all. You set boundaries and you expect Chad to respect them, as he should. How he reacts is 100% on him. Being on the spectrum doesn't give you a free pass to disrespect people's boundaries on several occasions. It's alarming how many people thinking having a mental illness exonerates you from any form of critique or being held to any sort of moral or societal standards. Just because someone is autistic does not mean they can just do and say what they want or act how they like. That's dangerous thinking. You're not available, you're not interested, period. Chad can save the theatrics for the stage and leave you alone. Him being autistic is not an excuse for him being a creepy aw. If he absolutely refuses to lay off, report him. Not the asshole.